As the Detroit Lions look to make a playoff push in the month of December, they're going to make the playoffs. I'm quite certain of it. And I am also certain that they'll win the division, but it's just a matter of seeding where they will be and how far they will go in the playoffs. Now, a lot of you think that a division title and a playoff win is enough for you, but I'm saying, well, you know what? Why not? We are in the top, 5 teams in the NFL, 5 to 6 teams. We are ranking in the power rankings in the top 10. Why not try to go as far as we can? And in order to do that, we are going to need as much help as possible, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we did bring in Bruce Irvin a couple of weeks ago, who got his first start and came in and made an impact. Then we signed Tyson Alualu for the defensive tackle position, with Aleem McNeil hitting IR. Now, this, and I just made a video earlier about James Houston returning to the lineup in time for the playoffs, right? And we got CJ Gardner-Johnson coming back as well, but this specifically is about the defensive line. And I'm like, look, I was watching the Insiders today with Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Tom Garofolo, and they mentioned free agents that were still available heading into the home stretch of the NFL season. And one caught my eye. Now, you guys have mentioned him before when we were talking about pass rush help, and even right before we got Bruce Irvin, and we didn't make a move at the trade deadline. You mentioned a guy by the name of Melvin Ingram. Now, I did talk to my Miami guys, my Denver guys, and they gave me kind of some thoughts on Melvin Ingram and what he could do for our team. I said, well, how do you think he could help my team? And they said that he could be a good situational pass rusher. He would be a good, kind of second and third down pass rusher, because obviously fourth down, you're going to punt it away. Now, this right here would complete the trifecta of the Land Before Time. I don't know if there was a Land Before Time 3, but this definitely is up the alley to complete the trilogy of older players with the Detroit Lions. We went from being the second youngest team in the league to probably messing up that average with the signing of 2 36-year-olds. So you know what? Why not bring a 34-year-old in here as well? Now, Melvin Ingram, the same draft that Bruce Irvin was taken out of in 2012, they were both taken in the first round. So he would come in and fit quite nicely. Had 15 tackles last year. 6 of them were sacks. He had one forced fumble. If we look at his career, he spent the first 9 years of his career with the San Diego Chargers and then the Los Angeles Chargers the last 4. And in the last 4 years, he has been on 4 teams. If he gets signed this year, that will be 5 teams in 5 years. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Miami Dolphins. That's kind of crazy that when he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't win the Super Bowl that year. Coming off the Miami Dolphins, played in 17 games, and he had 6 sacks. 6 sacks as being part of the Miami Dolphins. So not a bad kind of career. 57. I want to say Bruce Irvin has either 55.5 or 58.5. They're somewhere around the same range. That's kind of funny. Same draft, pretty much the same age and similar stats as well. Neither one of these guys played coming into this year. Now you might be like, well, you start thinking, why haven't players played for 2023? A lot of these free agents that are left. And when it came to Bruce Irvin, he said, hey, age ain't nothing but a number. I feel 26, 25, 26. In between the whistles, I play like I'm 25. I think a lot of these players, unless your name is Kenny Galladay, it has to do with age. It's just aging away. Your time is kind of come and gone. And at this point, even in Ndamukong Suh that we talked about as well today, you're mid-30s and you are on the last, like this could very well be Bruce Irvin's last year. This could be then he could play another 4 or 5. I don't know. We got Calais Campbell out there, and we got some older guys out there as well. So we got some tackle for the Seattle Seahawks that's 41. So, maybe age is nothing but a number. But I feel like if James Houston couldn't come back or wasn't full strength, or if we just was like, you know what, let's take advantage of this year. Probably nobody's going to get cut. if we could use help, it should be maybe cornerback for sure, but pass rush as well, right? You could kind of flip a coin between the two positions that we need more help at. Because if Jerry or Cam go down, we're messed up. We're in trouble. So we probably could use a secondary player first, but I don't know. Brad Holmes isn't really, maybe he trusts Chase Lucas and those guys in the secondary. But let's take a look at what it would cost to get a guy like this. What would it cost to get Melvin Ingram as at this point in the season? Well, I can tell you what, little of nothing. He was paid $1.6 million last year, and he played the entire season. So I would assume that if he was to come in, and that was May 15th, he signed a 1-year, $4 million deal. I would assume right now, if he were to come in, he would get a probably league minimum, like vet league minimum. You're talking about 5 games at this point and however many playoffs. So the Lions are guaranteed, obviously, that would assume he was playing this week, but the Lions are guaranteed at least 6 more games because they are going to the playoffs and maybe more after that. So if he came maybe 2 or 3 games, or I have no idea, but I'm thinking, you know what? What if the Lions did want to just say, you know what? We didn't go all out. We didn't give up any draft capital, but we still think we can make a push, right? Maybe they do think they can make a push. Maybe they're not willing to settle for the division or just the playoff game. Because I find it very hard to believe that a team that began 8-2 and could very well end 14-3, 12-5, 13-4 with double-digit wins for the first time in I don't know how long, that they're willing to just concede defeat with saying, oh, we won a division. We won double-digit games. We made it to the playoffs. We want to play. Like, no NFL team is thinking about that. If Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are sitting there and be like, man, we're so much ahead of schedule, man, I doubt it. I really do. They're like, what can we do this year? And maybe, obviously, the move wasn't free agency. It wasn't the draft. It wasn't the trade deadline. Maybe this could be something that kind of not takes us over the edge, but just anything can help at this point when we're trying to make a playoff push. Now, let me show you something. If you're like, okay, Derek, you're reaching right now. You're reaching. You just want anybody to come to the team. I don't think any of those things, but then again, you could also say that. Why not? Go ahead and say it. It doesn't matter. Because when I show you this stat, you might change your mind. Now, this is where the sacks are for the NFL teams, all right? Now, I want to kind of show you where the Lions are at, one team at a time. The Chicago Bears, they currently have, well, I can't do that. I was going to show you as many as I can, like one at a time. But the Chicago Bears on the season are dead last with 17. Carolina Panthers with Brian Burns. They got Derek Brown, and they are second to last, ranked number 31. The New Orleans Saints, who have Cam Jordan and some guys on that defensive line, they are ranked 30th. Now, if we go up, you have the New York Giants. Kayvon Thibodeau has over half the sacks for the New York Giants, ranked 29. At 28, the New England Patriots at 24 sacks. And your Detroit Lions, 6th worst in the NFL in getting to the quarterback, getting him down on the ground. So that is 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. They are 27th. 27th. We finished the 2022 season with 38. 38. At the pace that we're going many games with no sacks, we could very well get less than that this season. Now, I know you guys are like, well, Bruce Irvin's going to change and all that stuff. Okay, yeah. He got 1 sack in his first game, and that's fantastic. Maybe he is the difference. Maybe James Houston is the difference. Maybe all of a sudden we need 13 sacks in 5 games. So we have to average 2.5 sacks a game. 2.5, and 1 game need to get 3 sacks to equal what we got last year. And we're counting linebacker, secondary. We're counting defensive tackle. I mean, the entire team. And I misspoke yesterday. Alex Anzalone has 3. He has 3, and he is the 3rd on the team. But now it's just Hutch at 5.5, and then Aleem is out. He had 5, and now there's Alex Anzalone at 3. So Is it a reach? Hold on, I'll put a new soundboard. Is it a reach?
Perhaps.
Could we use more pass rush?
Perhaps.
Should we get Melvin Ingram to make that playoff push?
Perhaps.
You let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. We hit 16.3. We're trying to get to 17K by the end of the month and make a push like our Detroit Lions for 20,000 whenever the Detroit Lions season ends. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.
Perhaps.